What's up, guys? I'm here today with Austin from Die With Nature. Austin, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I love this guitar. Let's talk about it.
I found this guitar at Guitar Center for like $300, and I just couldn't pass it up. It's a Gretsch. I guess it's kind of like weird to play for heavy music. That's kind of why I bought it. But it's the stock pickups. Just pretty basic, like volume knob, tone knob. I always keep it on this one down here. This is one of my favorite stickers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool guitar.
Yeah, I mean, so at the end of the day, it's not terribly dissimilar from a Les Paul, which is definitely well known in heavy music.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I have a Gretsch as well. The pickups are pretty low output. Are these two, or do you not really have a problem with that?
No, not really. I mean, they're stock, so I mean, like I don't imagine that like they put anything like too powerful in there. But I mean, it lets me turn my amp up a little bit louder, I guess. So that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets the job done.
Yeah.
Also, do you ever have problems with like the volume knob location? Does that bother you being up on the horn?
I've gotten used to it, so yeah. It honestly kind of helps that they're so far apart, because I don't like accidentally like knock one of them when I'm trying to mess with the other one.
That's true.
So, yeah.
It's very unlikely to get in the way if you're picking like a Stratocaster or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude, I love this guitar. If
Thank
you ever
you.
see another one for $300, send me a message.
You'll be the first to know.
For sure. Okay, sick. Have you done any like modifications to it, but everything's just how it came?
Done absolutely nothing to it.
That's awesome.
I've cleaned it a little bit. Well, not recently, but since I bought
From
it.
time to time, yeah. That's awesome. And never the neck pickup?
Never the neck
Okay.
pickup.
What tuning do y'all play in?
D standard and drop C.
Nice. Yeah. What about strings? Are they fairly heavy or?
I got the Ernie Ball. What is it? The skinny bottom, heavy bottom, skinny top.
Yeah.
It's the orange pack.
Yeah. Awesome. That holds up well enough for you. You're like doesn't get floppy.
Yeah, man, I love
Cool.
it.
Cool. Well, what about amp? Is this yours?
So this is this is a Marshall MG. It's a solid state. I don't really do anything. I just keep it on clean.
Is this the channel you're using?
The gain is
the gain all
I
the
keep
way?
the gain
Hell
all the way
yeah.
up.
Hell
Gain's all the way up on my pedal.
Nice.
I just I don't know, man. Like one day I just found the dials the way I like it, and I just keep doing it like that.
Why not?
Really? Yeah, but it's nothing fancy. I found it at a pawn shop for like, I don't know, $200, and I was like, shit, 7-8 years ago. It's never given me a problem ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, super reliable rig between like a solid state and then like, is this set neck or bolt on? It is bolt on. Yeah, you've got a bolt on, but like just a solid plank of wood guitar. This is such a solid setup. I love that. That really appeals to the things I like in a guitar.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then Epiphone cab.
Yes, this is an Epiphone trigger, man.
Okay.
They made these back in like the early 2000s, but they just kind of gave it that like kind of retro look.
Yeah.
They made an amp for it too to like match it. I've never played through one. I straight up, like I found this at a pawn shop too for like $300, and I just honestly liked the way it looked.
Yeah.
Didn't even like try it before I like took it home, but yeah, I took it home, and again, man, I've had it for like 7-8 years, and it has never given me a bit of trouble.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think we probably need to hurry through this, but have you also had your pedal board for 7 or 8 years, bought it for a budget, and never given you trouble?
So my Big Muff, yes, and then my delay over here, I forgot when I got that, but it's never given me a bit of trouble. My tuner, this is actually Jake's sampler pedal that we use sometimes, but yeah, it's just kind of a, again, very simple setup. Yeah.
Well, they turned the lights off and it's getting really quiet. Yeah. Maybe meet up back and talk about it a little bit more, but thank you for your time. Excited to see y'all show. All right. Now here after the show, I'm here with Mikey on the bass. Mikey, how you doing?
Doing all right, buddy. Just got done playing. A little sweaty, but got all that adrenaline pumping. So looking forward to hearing these bands coming up.
For sure, me too. So tell me about your bass.
This is my workhorse. I've had her for gosh, this is probably year 8 now, but she is a Music Man sub-series. Not quite the Sterling, but I'm missing one of those pickups. But she has treated me well. And coupled with my gear, give me a good fuzz pedal, and we'll show up and we'll be rowdy, you know.
For sure. Now you're tuned to D or drop C?
So
like the rest
we
of the group,
play
or?
a mix of C standard and, D standard and drop C.
Okay.
Drop C, so that's usually, she'll rattle a little bit. She probably needs a little intonation work, but I can't complain. She has been such a good, and it was really just an affordable bass at the time, and I'm a working dad, couldn't bust the bank at the time, and she's missing a couple of knobs, but I've changed the pick guard a couple of times. This is actually supposed to be a glow-in-the-dark green. I like how it looks just like a dirty white, though.
Yeah, like the mint, like fender color, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did it ever glow in the dark?
Yeah, a little bit. Probably if I left it out in the sun a little while, it might charge. And these were glow-in-the-dark strings, but it is time to change these. Some nice D-ads from the nice little, I think it was a nylon coating, but
I didn't even know they made glow-in-the-dark strings. That's awesome.
just white or whatever, and they kind of pop with a thing, but
Nice.
it's not about the aesthetic. It's more about they were on sale at the time, and
go.
my wife, she loves surprising me with new strings, and I try them out,
That's a good surprise.
I love to experiment,
Yeah.
but I don't know what I'll go to next. I love me some D-ad strings, though. Probably
Okay.
something in that range.
Also, did something in particular attract you to like the Stingray style, or?
Well, Music Man, it had a good reputation. I
Yeah.
grew up, you can see them everywhere, but it was not only the affordability, because I read a bunch of reviews and they said that just because you were missing one of the pickups on the Sterling, it really wasn't, that much of a difference for the, the budget, So
Yeah.
I think Music Man has served me right. When I was first learning, I thought about maybe trying some different genres, and it's a versatile instrument, but bringing it here into this dingy underground, just wherever they'll have me crawling out of the back of the van, she serves me well.
Yeah, it worked really well for you. So, do you run it like controls wide open?
Usually I'll bump back my bass just a hair so that my trebles will stand out, because I run the fuzz pedal, and I can lose my highs and upper mids sometimes in that frequency range, so I kind of play with it. Usually my pedal board is kind of crazy. I have an expander and a compressor. So the compressor on my head and an expander pedal, but some reason it sounds growly and angry like I like it. I twist those knobs until it's pleasing.
It worked. It sounded great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I did notice that's a more than you usually see on a bass pedal board.
But those are
A lot
really
more
my
going
two
on.
pedals. Just got the Crybaby fuzz pedal. It's a Justin Chancellor signature.
Okay.
That's really where I get most of my grit. But the expander kind of really pushes the upper range, I think.
Okay, cool. Also, I saw this is an active pickup. I
It
guess on the battery
is.
side
It
of that.
is.
Okay.
There are some batteries in there. Makes it a little louder. Try to keep them changed. I know when it starts getting weaker, it's like, aha, battery time.
Yeah, but let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then what's your amp you're running?
So I've got a Hartkey head.
Yeah.
It's an 800 watt, and I got it for a little higher than $500 range. But
Okay.
at the time, I was trying to push an 810 speaker cab, and I needed something that was big. But
Yeah.
I've since switched to the cab that Austin got at the pawn shop. It's got the DWN stickers on it. It's a nice, I think it's a PV, but those 412s in there doing me plenty well. So we're holding in there. And plus it looks cool, the big duct tape on it,
Yeah.
We just got off tour from Louisiana, and she, they knew we were coming, so.
For sure. No, I was actually going to ask how loud on your volume knob are you running?
So I usually try to go flat, like in the middle of
Okay,
everything,
okay.
but I'll try to bump my treble just a hair. Like I said, I try to get those highs to stick out
Yeah.
just a bit. Sometimes I have to bump them down depending if my gain decides to be cranky. Sometimes she'll feed back, but I do have a noise gate that I tend to battle with that. So.
Fair enough.
But it's kind of hard with fuzz and bass and trying to compete with sludge metal guitarists.
Yeah.
They're turning up, but
On either side, right?
we really compliment each other, and we're not too mean to each other, I don't think.
No.
I don't remember, I could probably count on the times in my hand we told each other to turn down. It's probably not a good thing, but
Well, you just turn yourself up, right? You keep
Or if they
on
did tell me, I couldn't hear them.
That's the winning move for sure. Awesome. Is there anything else that we've missed you want to talk about?
No,
the rig?
I am not a complex man, but I do love to play with it, and I'll probably do some upgrading soon. But if it ain't broke, I'm not trying to fix it too hard. So
Fair enough.
maybe do some little tune-ups here and there. So
There you go. Awesome.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I enjoyed y'all's set. Looking forward to seeing y'all
Looking
again.
forward to it. Thank you so
Take
much.
care, man. All right. So, Zach, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. That was a killer set. I loved it.
Thanks, man. It was a really fun one to close it all out with.
Yeah.
Sunflower's been letting us play here for the last year or so, and
Yeah.
very accommodating. One of the most accommodating venues in a weird way. As accommodating, I've just walked in and they kind of let me have free reign of whatever I
Yeah.
wanted to do, plug up to whatever, and I liked that a lot more than I ever thought I would.
Right.
So I've learned a lot here. I learned how to run PA a little better and stuff. So it was a really fun place to kind of cut teeth and, experience another little homegrown spot like that.
Sure.
But yeah, man, that set was fun. And all I blast through really is a simple Marshall 412 MG series 100 HD FX. This is a 2007 model.
Yeah.
I got it used at a Guitar Center for $300 when I was 17. And I am 30 now. So I've had this
Hell yeah.
sucker for years. I
That's
have
awesome.
pulled it apart, screwed every screw on it, I've turned every knob and cleaned all the gunk out over the years and burned cigarettes on it. It's held many a beer. It's been a fun dude, and I don't know how it's survived this long, but it's still trucking, and I probably don't see myself changing anytime soon. Other than that, it's got cat scratches, but the real whole tone of everything, I leave it running clean too. I turned the bass up to about 12, my mids are about 2 o'clock, and my treble's about 1 o'clock. Nothing too fancy. All my tone comes through my pedals, and so I start going through my tuner. Everybody needs a tuner. They forced me to get one, and I do like it, and it's an old one, and it's been doing great. I found it in my jam space amongst a bunch of clutter and shit one day, and I looked at my drummer and was like, found a tuner, and he was more happy than I was. And then I've had my very first pedal I ever got when I got the amp was this Fuzz War, and it's a Gen 2, so all that means is they put a volume pot on it so it's not dumb loud, and it's a really cool one. I mean, it gets loud as hell. That thing has all my love in it. I use my fuzz at about 1, and I actually turn the tone way down. I'm like a dark signal player, so all my stuff comes out very bassy, mid-heavy, and I like that because it accommodates Austin on his high, shrill trebles.
Yeah.
We do a lot. We learned a lot from Mastodon. That was where I picked up a lot of that kind of 4-man crew balancing and stuff. And then I go out of the Fuzz War, and the funny thing is the Fuzz War is the only one I turn on and off throughout the whole set, very minimal. It's on about 90% of the time, but the Tube Screamer, and it's an old 80s 808, TS 808. I got this given to me when I was bartending at the dive bar.
Nice.
One of my regulars just walked in with it, an old regular that comes in every night, and he's a guitar player. He's a jazz player, though. And he told me he's had that thing for years, and he couldn't use it. Somebody gave it to him, and he was never going to use it. It was a paperweight, so he just gave it to me for free. So I bought him a beer, and that was it. I've had that sucker. It stays on. It's my foundation. I leave its overdrive at about 1. The tone I leave, again, turned down real low to about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And then my level, I leave that at a nice, I play that by ear to the room. But it stays on the entire set. I don't click it off or anything. It's just the perfect, it's more like a compressor to me than anything. It really works well to get my sound balanced with that Fuzz War, because the Fuzz War goes unhinged. He doesn't give a fuck about balance, and for whatever reason they like each other. So it takes the balancing from the Tube Screamer and it levels it out and just gives me a wall of fuzz that I can't get over. And then my favorite part of the whole rig is my guitar.
Of course.
I love this guitar. It took me a while to find a guitar. I'm a very cheapskate guy. I do not like expensive guitars. I'm going to beat the shit out of them. I'm going to take them apart. But when me and my drummer were originally a two-piece with this whole band, and I played on his dad's old guitar that he had from the 70s. He had a 72 SG 100, or not SG, it's a Guild guitar.
Yeah.
So it's the Guild's version of an SG. I can't remember the model, but it's cool. It's the same one that they use in Soundgarden. And I was playing this $2,000 guitar for a couple of years, and I looked at my drummer when we started talking about going on tour, and I was like, I will not take this thing on the road. So I went in a guitar shop I used to work at years before, walked in and saw this same rinky-dink guitar sitting on the shelf that was sitting there 5 years ago. And I walked up with $125 and told him, I'm going to buy that off the wall. And the fun thing was, I had just looked up D-Armond, and D-Armond got bought by Fender along with Guild in the 90s.
Okay.
And what they did, D-Armond was a pickup company, Guild was a guitar company. They took all the schematics built for Guild guitars and started making these guys. So it's the same schematic as the 1972 guitar I got used to playing on. The only thing, it's got a bolt-on neck instead of a set neck. And they just slapped D-Armond on it instead of Guild. And D-Armond was a really old school 50s pickup company by a guy with the last name D-Armond. And he used to just hand wire these wacky pickups that nobody else could really mimic. And Fender tried to mimic them on the first run with these, and that's what those pickups are.
Okay.
They're some unknown style P90 version-esque thing that I've never found a replacement for. I'm not gonna. I clean them. I take care of those things because they are my favorite sounding thing I've ever found. They have so much, like, they're just so much soft headroom, man. I mean, they're not a high output pickup. They're low outputs, and I mean, they just do the damn job. Everything else is stock on the sucker. I'm gonna replace the tuning pegs here really soon. They're just getting old and they're cheap. It's pot metal. It's from South Korea. So,
Fair enough.
but like I said, that's what I love. I love a guitar that I can mod, and when it fucks up, I can fix it.
For sure.
And if I drop it on concrete, I don't get that heartbroken about it. But yeah.
As long as it lives, it makes it cooler.
And my second is an Epiphone 2020 SG.
Okay.
It's Olympia white with a mint green pickguard. It's pretty as shit, and it fights me more than I can tell you. I hate that guitar, but it's so cool.
Neck dive?
No, it's just hard to play. I have 13s on it like an idiot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And, yeah, so it's all my fault, but like, I'm gonna blame the guitar.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
other than that, man, that's what I rock on a
Okay.
day in, day out, have for the last
Yeah.
goddamn 10 years, man.
You found what you like.
I like it, man, and I mean, like, I tell people, learn what you got, save some money, man. You probably can make what you got work a lot better than you think if you just play with it for a couple hours.
Yeah.
So other on that note, man, that's really it. Listen to Die With Nature, man. We're always playing around Jackson and
That's right.
your local
Awesome.
states.
I enjoyed seeing y'all,
Thank
man.
you, Isaac.
Yeah.